Hi, everyone. My name is Jokima Hiller. Welcome to season 8 of my podcast, Your Hospitality Moment That Mentors. I am so excited to have my regular guest with me today, Jill Woods. Jill is currently the dual director of sales for Aimbridge Hospitality in the Indianapolis Downtown market. And together we are Bet on Hospitality, focusing on books, education, and training. Hey, Jill.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining me. You know, time has certainly gone by so quickly. We missed season 7 and trying to get you on, but I'm so glad that we are back and in action in season 8. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
All righty, so a feature of my podcast is we don't waste time. We get right to the point for my listeners and for my viewers today. So imagine you are mentoring someone new within the sales office. What would you want them to know about citywide events?
That we've actually just had that situation where we are onboarding a new sales coordinator, and they are going to be the in-between from what we book to the front desk. So you really want them to be able to answer any questions and respond accurately, because special events in a busy market like Indianapolis has definitely gotten more complicated now. And it's not a matter of just having one event. Sometimes you've got things overlapping. So there's always, minimum stays involved. There's always, rates that aren't available during those times because it's high demand. And there's a lot of moving pieces to just one event, and having the billing and the reservations and everything go very smoothly. It's complicated. And I don't know, it's almost like it's not something you can train just once. Every special event you have to go through with your team and say, okay, these are all the hot buttons. These are all the tasks we need to do to manage this event accurately and successfully for the maximum outcome, because you're always going to be compared against that same event in the past. So it can be very, very complicated, and you have to kind of do it in sections for them.
Okay, so when a event, then now that they're here, they're working with you, and an event comes, what are some of the first things that's important for them to know?
Basically, if there are changes to a reservation. So if at the last minute someone is ill and can't make it, what is the cancellation policy? And, did they pay in advance, and is there a refund due? Getting the right room types and making sure that what they signed on for is what they're getting. And
Sure.
If it's not, letting them know why. And managing the unexpected. So if you promise them so many different, so many suites of one kind, and you have a flood and some of those suites aren't available now, kind of handling those last minute things, and there will always be a flood. I've learned no matter what, someone leaves their shower or tub running on the 4th floor, it hits every room on its way down. So, and it just seems to, there's no way to avoid it. It's the unknown factor of a guest in your room falling asleep, or, having too much to drink and not remembering to turn off the water. It's really that simple.
Now I know I'm still old school. Does this still work for training these days, to use a checklist? You said you want to make sure that you break things down for them and kind of share with them piece by piece the complexity of managing special events. So do you use a checklist, or how do you know that you've covered everything with them?
So we love technology. We try to use it, and we use Delphi for our groups and
Okay.
events. And so from Delphi, you can print off a BEO or banquet event order. You can print off a group resume. But as far as our filing system, we have an old school piece of paper checklist that goes on the top of each file, so that as we get through each steps preparing for the arrival date, we know what's been checked off. So we utilize technology, but we still know it's important to go, okay, is everything in order in the file? Do we have everything checked off before this group comes? And I think it's important to use both.
Very good. Absolutely. Anything else?
I would say for planning, when you have to plan out your budget, which all of us are about to go through, and RFP season, really, your Convention and Visitors Bureau should have a pretty detailed list of all the events. Try to pinpoint any weekends or times where there is overlapping events, and decide in advance how much inventory you can promise over these. Because if you've got 3 to 4 large events over the same date, downtown will sell out no matter what. And to let your accounts know this in advance is always smart. So yes, we load that into the RFP season of these are the blackout dates. But the other thing we do is we keep a running list that we can email out to our top clients to say, these aren't all blackout dates, but they're all dates that we expect to sell out. And turning in your reservations or letting us know that you'll need rooms in advance is smart. Some events, they need to book 2 to 3 months out just to make sure that they have rooms.
And you're not talking about the folks that are making those reservations for those events. You're talking about your other regular clients who will most likely need rooms during these busy times. So you kind of give them a heads up.
Yes, and we have to leave ourselves a little bit of room. So one of my hotels is a Courtyard, and that's more, transient stays. But my Residence Inn, we have to set aside inventory for any long-term stays that need to book through. So you have to manage those 2 hotels very differently as far as inventory goes, because you don't want to turn away a long-term stay that's 6 months because you're sold out over an event. You want to make sure you have room to take care of those folks, because you may need that revenue next month. And to not have it available because of 2 days doesn't make any sense. You have to really line up your revenue and stagger it. And even with some of those events, maybe the event is about this thing, but we're only going to block so many rooms for that. And you may still book small weddings or small sports teams just to layer in the right kind of business, so that if one event cancels, you haven't lost everything.
Like not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Exactly. And if, we always look back at our results and they go, so why was your star good? Why was this week so great? And I can say, well, it's because we staggered in the business and we didn't count on one event to sell us out. We made sure that we had good business flowing in and more business as that was flowing out. And it also keeps our staffing levels regular as well.
Sure.
So that's a lot of what we would talk to a new salesperson in, is to be leery of, when to book business and to check with us and make sure that there's no major events over dates, or if there is it something where we should turn something down?
And you mentioned the STAR report, and I just want to make sure that everyone knows that that is the Smith Travel Accommodations Report, which is really kind of a report card for hotel and its competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, cool.
And did you know, so my new sales coordinator has been a student in hospitality, but she studied over in the Philippines to begin with.
Awesome.
She was not aware of the STAR report.
Wow.
And so be able to show that and go, there's a difference. To us, we automatically think we've been using this report forever, but
Sure.
when you're teaching someone new, and I was like, I wonder if they still teach that report in hospitality schools, or if is there something else they're using? But
no. Even starting, I think, from an introductory lodging course, it's definitely covered, even if it's just an overview. But I'm pretty sure that the STAR report is international. So I think that's interesting that she wasn't familiar with it. Interesting.
Right. And I've had other hires from here where they may have been in hospitality, but they weren't in sales, so they didn't know about the STAR report. And I thought, gosh,
everybody should know. I think that's a really good point, that, no matter what department you're in, there's some basic or common knowledge that everyone, I think, working in each department should know. And I would add the STAR report to it. So I think that feeds into saying, if you want to know about the STAR report and other things, please contact Bet on Hospitality. We can certainly fill in the gaps for you at your hotel and your location, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, everyone. That is your mentoring moments with an S on the end. If you are mentoring someone, or you've got a new person in your sales department at your hotel, and you are trying to kind of get them up to speed on the complex nature and world of special events, citywide events. And when we say citywide, we're talking about events that really kind of fill up the city that you're in. There are certain things that you need to cover. And so I'll make sure that I put some notes into the notes section for you to look back at, as well as I will post and share Jill's full bio. So thank you all so very much for joining me today and my podcast, Your Hospitality Moment That Mentors. Till next time. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.